Started seeing him, I guess, about a month ago. I had gone to pain management for close to a year, I guess, and we did the injections and everything, and nothing was really helping. And so we decided to see surgeons. So we went and visited a few surgeons. I settled on Dr. Smith largely because of the minimally invasive approach that he has, and I knew that that was going to hopefully give me less post-op pain, quicker recovery, and all that stuff. So we finally decided, let's do it. We got it set up and scheduled, and tomorrow will be 2 weeks out of surgery. Yeah, it was kind of a last resort sort of a thing, but I guess I'd come to realize that my pain wasn't going to get any better. I did physical therapy last summer for a month. I continued doing those exercises at home. As I said, I had the injections, I had an RF ablation. There's just too much mechanical problem with my back to solve, any other way, I guess. So, I felt like surgery was always something you want to avoid if you can, but I felt like I couldn't anymore. So it was really just a matter then of who was going to do it and what approach we were going to use. Started really November of 2018. So at this point we're in February 2020, so it's been over a year. And it just kind of came on all of a sudden, sort of on and off for a while, but it was difficult to walk even after a while. I couldn't stand up straight. Bending over kind of helped relieve the pain, but that's no way to live your life, I would get random pinching sometimes, and a couple times I'd almost go down to my knees. And I just felt like I'm not gonna do that. If I was 85 years old, maybe I'd just say that's part of being 85 years old, but I'm not even 60, and I've got a lot of years left, hopefully, and don't want to spend them that way. I guess initially from Dr. Villarreal, the pain management doctor, and then I did some research. I've had 2 careers in my life. One was an engineer, one was a teacher, so I tend to kind of dig into the details.
Oh yeah.
And so I did a lot of research. When I first came to see Dr. Smith, he gave me his cell phone number and a couple of videos on YouTube. One of which was the entire surgery, which, I guess depending on what your squeamish level is, maybe is a good idea or not. But I thought that was really great because you could really see in detail what it is that's going to happen, and you can kind of see also that what he's accomplishing with the surgery, the way he does it, versus finding videos of kind of a more traditional open procedure. You can really see the difference. Get the same results with 2 different approaches like that. With the traditional surgery, you got a lot bigger incision. They're tearing a lot of tendons and ligaments and muscles off of the backbone, which is, a lot of the extra recovery and pain and so forth that you might have. In this case, he's just going through a couple of smaller apertures off of the midline and doing the work that way, so that he's really cutting just through muscle and not tearing everything apart like that. To me, I felt like if I can get the same results with that approach as opposed to something else, it just made perfect sense. So that's what we zeroed in on. So let's give it a go. I did see some of the other surgeries and testimonials on the website, on the YouTube channel, and I just felt comfortable that he was going to do a good job for us.
Very comfortable with him. Yeah.
The expectations were kind of set that there was going to be post-op pain. It was, as soon as the surgery was over, that same day they're going to get me up out of bed, and it was going to be difficult. And it hurt, but I really felt that as much as I'd been through as far as the surgery, that I wasn't having as much pain as I thought I was going to have. Of course, the anesthesia's still in and everything, and it was a couple of days afterward where the ache and the swelling and everything kind of set in, but it was never difficult. I was up and moving around right away. I I guess the biggest issue I had was really I was sleeping in the recliner because laying flat on my back, it was putting a lot of pressure right on the surgical site, so it was a little uncomfortable. But I'm back and sleeping in bed now, and been up and walking around. As I said, I'm less than 2 weeks out of surgery, and walking 15, 20
it's
minutes.
amazing for me to see him, the recovery phase.
Yeah. I think the biggest part is just not being able to do as much as I'd like to, because you're basically dealing with broken bone. Okay, so if you break your arm, what's it take, 6 to 8 weeks or so for that to heal? They put it in a cast, and you just have to, not
Mobilize it.
Yeah, immobilize it and not work it too bad. Same thing with the surgery. Doing the spinal fusion, they're going in there, they're adding some bone in there and putting the hardware to hold everything together. And that's kind of like your cast. And so, at 2 weeks, I would expect things to still be uncomfortable and still be a little in process and everything. So, we just have to give it some time. But the pain that I was having before, I haven't seen any evidence of that. Right now, I've kind of made a trade-off between that pain I used to have and the discomfort from the surgery right now, but I know that's going to get better and go away pretty quickly. Yeah, my advice, if you're kind of thinking about it but you're hesitant, I think the question you have to ask yourself is, do I want to deal with this pain that I'm having for the rest of my life? Because I guess depending on what your particular issue is, it's probably not going to get better. If you've got some of the same issues that I had with a spondylolisthesis and spinal stenosis and so forth, that's just everything all kind of out of whack in there, and that doesn't resolve itself. If you're concerned about the recovery phase, if you're concerned about the surgery pain and so forth, yeah, it's a big surgery and you're going to feel it, but it's not as debilitating as what you might hear a lot of times about back surgery. And I think the approach that Dr. Smith takes with the minimally invasive surgery is a big part of that, to just reduce the amount of work and trauma that they're doing in the surgery, because then what's left over with the healing and everything, there's a lot less to put back together.
I just want to, let everybody know that, you can't deal with your pain forever, I saw him going down a lot of times, and after we did the surgery and stuff, seek Dr. Smith, he did have the surgery, and now I see him, we had a couple of rough nights and stuff, but I see him, very well. Well, let me tell you, it's a difference, quite of a difference, and no pain, the pain he had before. So I'm just very thrilled and amazed. And thankful.
And it's really helpful to have somebody that can take care of you too. She's been great. But I think even if you are on your own or you have somebody that maybe isn't as confident in doing some of the care for you after the surgery and everything, don't worry so much about that, because you're not going to be a total invalid, for a month afterwards, something like that. Like I said, I was up and around the day of the surgery. I went home. We stayed overnight one night, went home the next day, and really I've been pretty independent since then. You just don't want to do a lot of sudden movements or, bending over something. So have your grabber available to pick stuff up off the floor. I borrowed a walker because I didn't know if I might need it, but I didn't use it as a walker, but I do have it next to the bed. So when I get up, I've got something to grab onto, depending on what kind of bed you have and everything. Really beyond that, really haven't had to do anything special to recover. So it's been great having her here to help me out and everything. But I think you can get by no matter what your situation is.
Yeah, and thank Dr. Smith for this, this hope.
Yeah. The main thing I would say about Dr. Smith is that he is very approachable, very responsive. I said earlier that he had given me a cell number and some videos, and one thing he said was, if you have any questions about anything, make sure that you contact me. So I did have some questions along the way. Like I said, I'm kind of a research junkie, and so I would maybe look something up on the internet and say, I wonder about this. And I texted him, and within minutes,
He would respond.
he would respond back, and not just yes or no or talk to me later or anything. He'd give me a good response, and I think really put me at ease with the whole process, and the fact that he was going to pay attention to me as a patient, because I know he does a lot of these surgeries, and that's a good thing to get all that practice. But I think sometimes people can feel like they get lost in the shuffle and they're just another patient. But he's been very.
Yeah, and he gave us all his, his time.
Yep.
All his time that he had for us.
Yep.
Yeah, he sure did.
So my name is Ken Schwartz. This is Delia Schwartz. We first came in to consult with Dr. Smith in middle of January. I don't remember the exact date of 2020. After seeing some other surgeons and doing a little research, we scheduled a surgery for the 14th of February. So happy
St.
Valentine's Day.
Day.
That's right. And the surgery was a lumbar decompression, laminectomy with spinal fusion. And that sounds like a big mouthful, but they're able to do it through two little holes in the meat thermometer.
He calls it a meat thermometer.
Yeah, another little probe that they put into
trocar there,
to work and everything. So sounds like a big surgery. It is a big surgery, but he's got a great approach to it.